I cook with a lot of chili flakes, and fortunately I've got a super chili plant growing on my windowsill, so I haven't actually had to buy any in over a year. So today I thought I would walk you through how easy they are to take care of. They just need lots of light, they need to be watered regularly, so just check the soil every few days. If it feels dry, give it a watering, but never soak it because you don't want that water to go down into the roots and rot them. You're also going to need to depot them once you start seeing the roots coming out of the bottom, like you can see there, into a slightly larger pot. And then the most important thing is that it needs liquid feed quite regularly. If you do this and cut the chilies every time they're ready, you'll have a constant supply of them, and the small ones, when they're very, very small, are quite mild and you can eat them just like that. But the minute those green things get any bigger, they get very, very hot, so maybe don't eat them just raw like that. Turning them into chili flakes is very simple. I'll normally pick a mixture of the red ones and then the large green ones as well, since the green ones, like I mentioned, are also very, very hot. And I also like the variety in colour as well when they're all dried. So I'll cut all of those. I'll normally do this every 2 to 3 weeks just because that's how fast they grow, especially in the summer months when it's a bit warmer in England. Then what I'll normally do is put the plant back, I'll stick all of the chili peppers on a tray and let them sit in the sun for 1 or 2 days. I find this makes them a little bit hotter and also means that I don't have to dehydrate them for quite as long. Once I have a few spare minutes to prepare them, I'll normally take off the base. Sometimes I'll do this just when I'm picking them off the plant, sometimes I'll leave them. It really depends on how much spare time I have. Today I just want to take the bases off all of them. Once that's done, I'm going to switch to a bigger knife. I did have a smaller knife, but that was a mistake. It will be there forever if you do that. Just get a larger knife and then you want to just dice them as thinly as you want. You could dice them a lot smaller than I do, but I don't mind if there's a variety of very small flakes and slightly larger ones, since I quite like hot food and hot bolognese, so it doesn't bother me. But if it bothers you, then just slice them up for a little bit longer until they're much finer. Next up, I just need to put them in the dehydrator. This part is simple. Put a little bit of baking paper underneath so that they don't fall through the tray. Spread everything out as thinly as you want. You don't want mounds of chili because they're not going to dry properly, or they're going to take a lot longer to dry. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can either dry this in the sun or put them on a tray in the oven over baking paper, crack the door open, put it on the lowest heat that you can, and then just wait for them to dry that way. You are going to have to keep an eye on it, but it's the easiest way to do it if you don't have a dehydrator. Once they've dehydrated for 2 or 3 hours, I normally check. Sometimes they need a little bit longer. If they do need a little bit longer, then I will dehydrate them. The last thing I want to do is have spent time preparing them and then have them go off in the bottle. But once they're done, they just all go straight into my chili flakes bottle. Another little thing that I do is I try and have a packet of silica gel in there. Since I'll normally pour this out straight into my hand, I don't have to worry about dipping the silica gel into my food, and it's a nice way to make sure that if I have missed anything and it hasn't been completely dehydrated, it's not going to make the whole batch go bad. And then that's it, you're done. If you like my content and want to follow me on Patreon, that's where you can find my early content, extra content, and see the thought process behind things like my books, cover designs, videos, and artwork. You can also find me on Instagram, but the best place to follow me and make sure that all my new content is sent directly to you is through my website and the mailing list. On the top right hand corner, you put your name, the email you want your new content to be sent to, and that's it. You're done.